You can be very intelligent and very good at what you do, and you can still be stupid.
Hey everybody, it's Ben here. I just wanted to give you a little update on the current status of the Star Trek doors. The Star Trek doors work great, but at this point they're manual. They're push button operated. There's a pair of video game arcade style push buttons on either side of the door. They are momentary on, so you press and hold the button to open the door, and then press and hold the other button to close the door. There's a set of buttons on both sides so that you open it from the one side, walk through, and then close it on the other side. Now this is all controlled by an Arduino, so for example it'd be pretty easy to set up a timer where you just press the top button, it automatically opens, and then a few seconds later it automatically closes. But there's also no safeties on here either, so right now it's actually easiest just to use those push buttons. This is also nice to be able to just leave the doors open. If you're carrying a lot of materials in and out from the workshop, for example. Also noted that the two doors are actually independent from each other, and there's a slight misalignment in the middle right now. We might be able to fix that with like a cable running between the two to help synchronize them. These are powered by a pair of air cylinders which are connected at the top of the doors. The push buttons tell the Arduino to activate the relays, which activate the air valves that send air to...
Anyway, yeah, we can get tired of that, can't you? Very quickly. Absolutely, yeah. I mean, why can't they just, well, just have a sliding door? What's wrong with normal doors? You know, use conventional doors. No, no, one that you swing open. Well, what about push or pull open? What about having a blanket? Push open. A blanket or a curtain, or pull it open. Or you could have those plastic things that come down, like in a plastic sheeting butcher's shop or something. Oh, I know. Yeah, sure. A cold storage area where you're pushing goods and trolleys through in and out. Yeah, of course. You just, or no door at all. You know. 1,
0, and we've got blast off with Peter and Pete. Hello, boys.
Yeah. Sounds like we're on a quiz show. Absolutely. Yeah. And the first question is, where's Dusty been? I don't know. What's the first bit of rubbish you can talk about? Well, you want to talk about? Well, how about gravity? Oh, how about gravity? Yeah, let's talk about gravity.
No, I don't want to talk about gravity. No, I don't want to talk about that.
You don't want to talk about gravity? Well, let's talk about lots of other rubbish. Let's talk about oxygen in the air.
We can talk about what you want, but we've already talked about what we can't talk about.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, sure. Yeah. Well, it's not that. It's just we don't really want to talk about. There's certain topics we don't really want to talk about because we know they're rubbish. Yeah, so we don't talk about them. Yeah, because there's no point. But, you know,
that's exactly right, boys. Rubbish. It's all rubbish.
What's the point of talking about rubbish? What's the point of talking about rubbish when you know it's rubbish? You know, we can't understand it. You know. Sure. Yeah. But anyway, hello. How are you?
Well, I'm okay, thanks, boys. You already said that you've been very busy lately. What have you been doing then?
We're burning some toast. No, our toaster's broken. Our toaster's broken, yeah. And I popped some toast into the toaster and left the kitchen, and then next thing I know, there's smoke everywhere. I had to open the windows. Yeah, unplug the toaster.
I did that earlier on. I put this bun in, and then Ellie's going, "It's burning! It's burning!" It was yesterday. It's burning. I was like, "Oh, that's my food burnt."
Yeah, it's easy done, isn't it? Especially when you've got faulty goods. Oh right, yeah, but it is warm. Yeah, our toasters we've had a long time. Yeah, but anyway, what we've been up to is well, because it's been some time since we've last been on.
Yes, I know. I'll mention it once because of the virus. We've all been a bit, whatever. Like it's caused it's caused us all not to separate, but we're all a bit quieter and stuff lately.
That's the same everywhere, though, isn't it? You know, but I think from what I remember, the last time we've been on your show is where our channel's kind of developed. Yeah, we've kind of got to the point of a self-realization about the world we live in. Yeah, and man's understanding of it, and we.
Well, do you know what mine is? You can't wake anybody up. There are empaths and awake people, and then there's them. And them will never wake up. They won't understand. They'll never hear.
Yeah,
They'll never get what we're talking about. And that's them. And then you've got the people who run it. So there's three lots of it. There's the awake, empathic ones. And then there's the ones that, oh, give me the chat. Oh, yeah, that one's. And then there's the ones enforcing it.
Yeah, you can. I suppose you can categorise people into those who know it's all fake and it's all rubbish and it's all, there's a lot of lies and deceit and everything in society. Then there's the other people who think, no, it's all true, it's all real and everything else. And then the people who, like you say, who are in control. But I'd go further and just say, at the end of the day, you've really got the people who are awake and you've got the people who are asleep. I think at the end of the day, but what you've got to ask yourself, because even the people in control are awake. They are awake, but they're asleep at the same time. Oh right, yeah.
Their goals are different, isn't it? You know, like if they made this cartoon series, we'd be coming in to want to save the day, and they'd be wanting to come in to take the money.
Oh.
They might be awake, but their objective is still different. What they want, their outcome is different.
Is this discussion going to be all about kind of like the control and the but you sociological kind of things? No, topics. You could have people who are let's say people in control who are asleep. Yeah, sure. But they have people who prevent them from being awake. Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, there's people up top. You know, if we were to give an example, let's take the Queen for example. I mean, everyone is aware of the Queen. Now, the Queen could be asleep. Yeah. Because she's just she's doing her job. She's part of the.
She's one of them.
Well, yeah, sure, yeah, that's irrespective. But my point is that she's just carrying out her role. Yeah, she's been ordained, or what do they call it? Word? Invested as a ruler of the country. That's part of her job. Okay, she's been giving all of these. She's head of UK PLC. Yeah, but that's part of her job, and she may only be awake as far as that is concerned. Yeah, she may not realise an awful lot about what goes on in society because she's not told, because she's prevented from knowing what's going on in society.
Can I say one thing? Can I say one thing? With what we're seeing on the television, you know, the programmes and everything, Biden and Trump and Boris all have blue eyes, but when you see them on there, they've got brown eyes because they're CGI. The Queen's the same. All the royal family.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
I've made a video with them all fading and nose is missing, and they're part of the clan. So it's like they're like Coronation Street, but you've got the royal family, the news, the programmes.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, but the thing is that when you look, all we're focusing on is the Queen's position in society and her role in it, and she's there to do a job, and at the end of the day, it's a PR job, really.
Yeah, she's doing a good job, isn't she, for them?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, but it's a PR job. Well, somebody's got to rule people. When you look at the behaviour of people, someone's got to rule them because they're. Well, it'd be chaos. It'd be chaos. So you've got to.
I don't think it would anymore. For the awake ones, we don't want chaos. We want peace. I don't think it would be like that. But I know what you mean. I know why. I can see what you're saying.
Yeah, I mean, we kind of, we can understand your point of view. We can understand a lot of people's point of view regarding the control and people doing this and doing that. But at the end of the day, one thing a lot of people fail to realise, and that is everyone who is, whatever position they hold in society, is a human being. And all human beings are susceptible to life experiences. And those life experiences can determine whether they become nice or nasty in their job.
Well, yeah, but
we're all susceptible to it, whether you're a flat earther, whether you're a truth seeker, whether you're a globie, whether you're someone in high position, whether you're whatever. It's irrespective.
Nobody's seen them.
Nobody's seen them.
And you know what? If this was real, she would have stayed in Buckingham Palace, I think. That's what I think would have happened. But everybody's gone, and we're just watching them on that television with the wrong coloured eyes and glitching all over the place.
Are you talking about the because of the COVID? She's not been out.
Have you heard? I haven't seen anything much about the Queen.
Well, that's because she's obviously enjoying her time, her free time, because she's not doing her job. She's not required to do her job all the while this COVID's going on.
Yeah, do you know what? In history, she's the longest reigning monarch, the longest reigning this, whatever it is. She's probably made the Guinness Book of Records by being the longest everything. Oldest, longest queen.
Yeah, but she'll die. She'll die at some point. So someone's got to be Queen Victoria, haven't they?
Yeah.
I mean, when you think about it, because of the privileged life that they lead, you would have thought all of them would live long lives, but
Lots
a lot
of people
don't.
think that she's already gone and that we're just being run.
Right. Okay. Okay. Well, I've not seen any evidence to support that. I can't remember the last time I watched television.
Wouldn't we? We'd be the last ones they tell.
Yeah, sure. But there's other people who want to take over. There's other people in waiting to take her job when she can no longer do it.
Who do you reckon it'll be, Charles or William?
No, it's going to be Charles, because they've already agreed for him to head the Commonwealth. He attended a meeting, so he's there. Yeah, he's there.
What that Commonwealth is? That is the end of Tartaria. We had Tartaria until 1925, about then, and then they turned it into the Commonwealth.
Oh, but isn't Tartaria is this?
Yeah, we don't haven't really gone into.
Oh, that to me, Tartaria is history we don't know about. That we can't put it all together, and you can't. And every time you get a map, you think, look at that map, and then all the maps don't match up. And
because one of the things with our channel is that we always stick to something that is tangible.
Tangible, yeah, sure.
And that's something that we can use or.
Well, I'll just explain this, and then I'm going to ask you a question, right? I found out that they're called Pickland people. They were very dressed, with tattoos. There's a bit of an echo coming back.
That's fine. Go on.
Yeah. They were covered in tattoos, and they were very tribal. And they were the Pickland people, and now it's called Scotland. And they had tattoos all over them. Like,
they could well have done.
You're finding out this history that just doesn't fit in, and you're like, you can't even check it out because it's too far behind for us to ever work out whether it's real or not. But there's just all this history, and Doggerland's another one. Do you know what Doggerland is?
No, I haven't a clue. But
Doggerland is the land between us and Belgium, but we were on a bigger plate, right? So that the land we were.
I've heard of Dogger Bank.
Yeah, that's it. But we were all Doggerland was past Ireland to Holland, and then we used to join up down the bottom a bit with France and stuff like that. But
are you suggesting the orientation of the land masses were different?
I don't think it was like they said it was. Because, because it's very shallow between us and Holland. But there is a Dogger Bank. There's a bit of a reverb there.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, well, I've heard of Robber Bank, but not Dogger Bank. Oh, Robber Bank. Yeah, sure. Yeah, you could do that. But you see, the thing is, one of the things we've one of the things we've developed in our channel is that like Peter said, and that is we don't really go into kind of like conjecture, or we only look at things that we can know or come to know through our experience. So we tend not to. We've heard of stories about Tartaria and other things, you know, relating to a hidden history, but we tend not to do that. Go into researching all that kind of material simply because in our understanding, there's not enough proof. Well, there is no proof to show that these things are actually real. There's possibly evidence.
I know what you mean.
But
you can't see it. It's not real.
Absolutely. You know, if you could go down to your supermarket. You can buy some, for example, you could buy some sodium bicarbonate. You can mix that with an acid, okay, and you can produce a gas. Now that is a fact. Anyone can do that. So it's for us. It's worth talking about that kind of stuff because you can get practical, hands-on.
You were doing all the experiments. Can I just say one thing? When I talk, it echoes.
No, it's fine. No, it's just fine from here.
Could you just turn your volume down just a little bit on your microphone? I think that might be what it is.
Yeah, it's probably feedback or your voice coming from our speakers going into the microphone.
Yeah.
So I've turned the volume down.
Thank you.
Is that better?
Oh, that's better.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, it's just that they'll hear it echoing back, but that's the way it is. Yeah, when we last spoke to you, you'd been doing massive experiments and telling us that none of that was true either.
but it's not the experiments aren't true. It's the fact that the understanding that underlies the experiments and the demonstrations, a lot of them aren't true. You know, it's like with water being hydrogen and oxygen, or there's oxygen in the atmosphere along with nitrogen and argon. You know, it's all just a load. It's a concoction. Yeah, originated from man's imagination, based upon how he interacts with the natural environment. Yeah, and our channel has kind of developed over the years, where we kind of looked into the natural world and looked at how man has represented the natural world, and we've come to the conclusion that man is fabricating his understanding of the natural world because he doesn't know what it is. He hasn't a clue what it is. He doesn't know what the sun is, what the moon is, what water is, what air is, how the tides work. He hasn't a clue about lots and lots and lots of stuff. If he's looking through a telescope and he sees this object in the night sky, and he labels this object Mars, okay, that's a very limited kind of interaction with that object because he can only look at it. So, you know, for him to kind of like formulate all of this understanding about the object that's seen through the telescope, when he's not even been there, he's not touched it, he doesn't know what the soil's made of, or what the ground is like, or what the gases in the air are like, or whether it's solid. He hasn't been there. He's not. You know, he's fabricating it. Yeah, he's fabricating an understanding based on limited experience of it, and that's essentially what man does. And he palms all of the he palms off all of the knowledge that he gains, or he fabricates as being real. Yeah, basically. Yeah. You know, and it's you know, why should anyone go through their life accepting something to be true when it's never been proved to be true? You know, I think that's just mental. And at the end of the day, when you start to understand that a lot of people are doing this, they're accepting things to be true when there's no proof that that thing has been proved. It becomes more of a psychological problem. You start looking at people rather than nature. Yeah.
They've got a mass of people believing. Oh, the echo's back now. So there's all these people believing in all this stuff, and they've got no idea that it's not correct.
Yeah, you have loads of people who read books. But that's why we have beliefs. That's why people hold beliefs, because they want to accept something to be true when there's no proof that it is true. God, lots of religion, science, a lot of science stuff, gravity, water being H2O, air, oxygen, blah 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 blah. All that space travel, the planets. The orbits around, the solar system and all this kind of stuff. It's all a belief, because it's all rubbish.
Yeah, it can't be proved to be true.
It can't be proved to be true. So
and the irony of all this is that it stares everyone in the face every day.
Absolutely, yeah, sure, because everyone knows that it can't be proved to be true. All these globies must be thinking to themselves, well, how is it possible that flat earthers haven't been quietened, shot up, kind of thing, for 5 years now?
Yeah.
Why is it we can't shut down flat earthers? It's because they must think to themselves, there's something wrong with their science. There's something wrong with the information that's been put out.
And there's something wrong with the way they are thinking.
Something wrong with the way they're thinking. In other words, they haven't proved that what they're presenting to people is true. That space is real, that they've been to the moon,
that the Earth is a spinning
ball.
Earth
is a spinning ball. It's
the tides are caused by the moon.
The moon. All this. There's so much information out there that there's no proof supporting it to be true, but it's palmed off as being true.
And I think one of the things with there's the deep inside the rabbit hole, and that is. You can, if you want to go deep inside the rabbit hole, you end up with a perception of life like we have.
Absolutely, of course, yeah, sure.
But we know that there are some, say, flat earthers, for example, who won't go deep inside the rabbit hole. They'll just go down 5 feet.
Yeah, when it could be 30 feet deep.
Yeah, basically.
What it does is, if you wake up, it starts making you a little different, because now you realise everything's a lie. So you know that reality is different, and we've taken that step to realise what's going on. But the ones that don't wake up can't get off the merry-go-round.
Yeah, sure. But you've just said it there, really, when you said that everything's a lie. Okay, but then one with that understanding, one shouldn't enter into beliefs, because even they could be a lie.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Yeah. So
you've got to start. You start off by saying, I just pick like a man, right? So this isn't true, but it's an example. You're into Man United football. You vote for Boris, whatever. It goes on like that. You've got to get rid of all of that. All of that's got to go.
Well,
there's none of them. There's no football. There's no this. There's no. You're looking. We've got to live in it, but we're looking at it differently.
Yeah, but you can still live in it and still accept that Man United is just a football team, and you can,
or Boris Johnson is just doing a job.
But it's the way you perceive it, and it's how you place value on those. It's like some people can think that Man United is their life. They purchase lots of Man United merchandise. They go and watch their team play. They worship. They've got Manchester United wallpaper. Yeah, they even got their duvet covers. Man United.
I mean that. We're all familiar with this kind of stuff. Yeah, they bought all of the what do they call it? It's not souvenirs. They've bought all of merchandise, Manchester United merchandise. But at the end of the day, that person's got mental health problems. In our opinion, that person's got mental health problems.
Whereas some people don't buy all that and are quite happy just to watch them on the television.
Absolutely, sure.
Because they know that, because they don't want Man United to be that much part of their life.
Sure. I mean, the thing is that I think on our last video we showcased a video that was presented by Jim Al-Khalili, and he was rolling a large ball bearing down a ramp, showing what Galileo did. And we're thinking, yeah, I mean, it's a great little demonstration, but he was saying that after showing what Galileo had done, Galileo came to the conclusion that he had found the mathematical kind of like formula that related to the rate of acceleration due to gravity. And I'm thinking, no, he didn't do that. He just looked at the rate of acceleration of a rolling object, but it wasn't due to gravity. How did he know that it was due to gravity? It could have been just the fact that the ball, or the ball bearing that was rolled down the ramp, is heavy. Has mass.
Yeah.
So there's a skew. There's a skew on people's understandings, and we've come to the conclusion that, you know, for anyone to drop something, well, like we've all seen the video of Neil deGrasse Tyson in the TV studio dropping the microphone on the floor. Yeah, there you go. That's gravity. No, that's not gravity. That's what he thinks is gravity. He's got mental health problems because nobody's proved.
He's also an actor.
Yeah, but he's being paid to do the job.
Right, I see. Just they've all been paid to do.
He's either got mental health problems or he's just paid to do the job.
Yeah.
But then, you can either do it.
Yeah, but then
one or the other.
But then you could argue that there's people who are in certain types of work who have got mental health problems.
But yeah, there are certain people in certain types of jobs who do have mental health problems. I mean, I remember talking to someone recently, and he was saying to me about the oxygen in the air, and I'm thinking, well, what oxygen? You know, you've got mental health problems.
Yeah, because oxygen.
But nobody can prove to you that oxygen is a constituent of the air. Nobody can.
People can only believe it.
People can only believe it, and you think, I don't want to live my life on beliefs, because that's not the way to live your life, is it?
Well, you just want to live your life and experience life.
Absolutely, you just want to live life and experience it. Because the thing is that, I mean, we've come to the conclusion, really, that with the natural environment that we all interact with on a day-to-day basis, we're only here to experience it. We're not here to come to know it. We can never come to know it. We can just experience it.
Right.
And for some people, a lot of people dislike that.
Yeah, especially when somebody's telling you that they know everything about the universe.
Part of that because we've got to remain open about most things, because we all think we know everything when we don't.
Yeah,
sure. Yeah, absolutely. But I think it's a good point to be able to make people aware of their limitations.
Yeah, because a lot of people think, well, we can man. See, that's the thing with one of the problem with man's society is that man puts across the rulers, the controllers, want to put across to the masses that they know everything about everything. Yeah, so they can gain authority over people. Yeah, but the thing is, the reality of it is that they haven't a clue.
Yeah, even they don't know what the true nature of reality is. You know, nobody does. Nobody can ever know.
It's like, let's go back, say, 100 years, for example, when the monarch at the time wanted to know,
Queen Victoria, that would be, or George V or VII or
whoever.
VI.
They wanted to know what was on the extremities around the Earth, for example.
Okay, yeah.
So they set up an expedition.
Yeah, sure.
And it circles Antarctica.
Yeah.
And they come back.
Challenger.
Oh, that's the one, yeah. And then they come back and they say, there's no way out.
There's no way out. We couldn't find a way through the ice.
Yeah, basically. So that kind of gives you an impression that there's no way out.
There's no way out, absolutely.
So that makes you think, oh, so we can't extend that. We can't go beyond that.
Sure.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, sure. But then that's the same for a lot of people in their lives. There's no way out.
Absolutely.
So why did they need to go to the perimeters of the Earth to know something they already knew?
or
kind of thing.
Or why did they go to the perimeters of the Earth? Oh no, I've forgotten it.
Sure.
All I'm saying is it was a waste of time.
Yeah, total waste of time. The trouble with the thing is with human beings, we find, and that is they look out through telescopes. Okay, they look out through telescopes into the night sky. They look at all of the pretty stars and the wandering stars and the nebula and all of these celestial kind of objects and events that go on. And then they're looking down in microscopes, looking in at cells and plants on a very microscopic level, and yet they're not looking at themselves.
Yeah,
they're not looking at themselves and thinking, how best can we make people happier?
How best can we make the human experience
better for other people, better for everyone?
They turn society into narcissists. Most people that don't wake up are narcissists, and they only care about themselves.
Well, yeah. I mean, that I see. I've got different. I know where you're coming from, but I tend to think that human beings are naturally selfish anyway. You know, I don't. It doesn't wash with me when somebody says to me, "Well, but human beings are very altruistic." And they can be very kind and they can be very caring to others and all this. I think to me, I think that people only do it for a reason. They're only altruistic for a reason. They only show care to others for a reason, and all this lot, you know.
Yeah, but I mean, I will say it's like when one good thing about this COVID, for example, is that when we shop in Tesco's. And every now and again, they put on the tannoy system about the COVID, please wear the mask. But one thing that they do actually say, which I think is really good, and that is it says to all the shoppers to respect
other people.
Absolutely, yeah, it's wonderful. Hold on. You never heard anything like that in the past.
Yeah, I mean, you see, the thing is that when you start realizing that man can't know everything and it's all a load of rubbish, that he thinks that he does know all of this kind of stuff, you start to look at people, and because people are the real things in society, you talk with them on a day-to-day basis.
Well, without people, there is no society.
Absolutely, without people, you know, people's lives would be totally different.
Boy, you changed.
Change what?
Don't know. I haven't spoken to you, have I, for about a year? But you're just a bit different.
Yeah, it's because our understandings change. It's because we've gone through. You know, it's a progression, because you go through the progression of, like, you're stuck in the globe society, okay, where you think the stars are real, the solar system's correct, and all of the information's correct. But then you start questioning things. You question the moon landings. You question lots of you go through the other conspiracies, the Princess Diana, JFK, all of these, and then you end up on the flat Earth, another conspiracy kind of thing, or the globe Earth, and then you go from there. We've developed beyond that. And we've actually, we've come to realise that it's all a load of rubbish.
Fabricated.
It's all fabricated.
But what that does is that development, let's call it a development or progress or whatever, that enables you to look at the society
absolutely
from a completely different perspective.
Sure. Yeah. It kind
of makes you feel better then, understanding it more. Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Of course. Yeah. It's you've got it's so nice to be able to walk around, and actually when you're talking to people, it's so nice to. Yeah, I know what you're saying. I totally understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
I was talking to the guy, another person, just this week, and he was telling me he was talking about the. Not trusting governments and all this kind of stuff. And I'm explaining to him, but it's a business. A business is the only way people can get together legally, is through business. So the army is a business. The hospital is a business.
Yeah.
Doctors, the NHS is a business. Your doctor's surgery is a business. The council is a business. The government, UK government, is a business. The Crown Estate is a business. It's all a business. Man United is a business. The Apollo moon landings is a business.
Yeah.
And they're all out there to make money.
Yeah. Because it's the only way.
Because that's the only thing that can bring people together, and that's money.
Because this whole thing that's happening to us now is the opposite.
What, the COVID?
You mean that? No, well, no, because at the end of the day, see, the COVID is all about money, essentially. Because I mean, one of the things, when you look at the test kits people have to do on a regular basis that get sent to the local NHS hospital, I mean, that's been patented. Okay, so every time the test kit has been submitted, okay, for analysis or whatever, put through the PCR, okay, you'll find that a percentage of money goes to the person who holds or company who holds the patent for that. It's all about money. It's all about money.
Yeah.
All you've got to realise is it's all about money.
Yeah.
And once you get through that, or that obstacle, because a lot of people don't want to admit that it's all about money.
Yeah.
For some strange reason. But as soon as you get over that, you can start when you do talk to people about society and everything, you can certainly understand when they say, well, my MP doesn't do this and my MP doesn't do that, my doctor doesn't do this and doesn't do that. Well, it's because it's all about money.
Well, another example is Brexit. A lot of people think or believe, let's use the word believe, that people voted for Brexit because they wanted to leave Europe, because they didn't want to be run by Europe. They wanted to take control of their country.
Absolutely, of course. They wanted all these immigrants out of the country. They want all this kind of stuff.
They want to have autonomy and this and that. But in my opinion, the UK left Europe because Europe was introducing new tax laws, which meant that there's a lot of people in this country who would have had to have declared overseas investments.
Absolutely, to the European Union, and they weren't prepared to do that.
Yeah.
So, hence we left the EU.
Yeah.
It's all about money.
Can I say one thing? I saw the footage when Boris won. He was like a little kid on the street. He was the size of a child, and there was a 15-foot reporter, if you're going to believe what they were showing you. So they filmed that months in advance. So he never won with a great big majority. It was all an act. It's all an act.
Yeah, no, yeah, sure. Yeah, it's because you see, the thing is, I mean, you don't get the reality of things because they don't want people knowing the reality of things because they've built up this illusion of society. When you look at your education system, they'll always say it's good to have an education. You can get great jobs with an education. You can earn lots of money. It's the way of life for people to go to school, do well, do what your teachers tell you, get brainwashed, yeah, and then you can get really good, fantastic jobs, blah, blah. You can buy yourself a house, you buy yourself a car, you can buy all of this stuff with you can buy luxury with your money, okay, but all of that way of life is rubbish.
Yeah.
It's absolute rubbish.
Yeah.
It's an absolute rubbish way of life.
Because what it's failing to make people connect with is themselves.
Absolutely. It's failing to allow people to connect with themselves and their own and other people and their true desires, their true aspirations. When you do look at a lot of people aren't encouraged to be human.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
They're not encouraged to be human. That's taken. They're robbed of that.
In our opinion,
of course. When you go to school,
yeah,
you're robbed of it. They take it away from you.
See, but one of the things with our views is that we consider that society is all about money, society they place more value on money than people.
Absolutely, a great example. I've got to say this. A great example of that is that you can sell cars. Okay, cars in a car showroom.
Pieces of metal.
Okay, and rubber and plastic or whatever. Okay, and you can earn more money. Okay, from selling rubbish. Okay, than you can if you were to care for a fellow human being. Now, when you think about
yes, that's the bit that upsets me. That money should be a matter of medium. That's it, because we're the real thing.
Absolutely,
but it's not the money. It's money to God, isn't it?
Yeah, sure. But that is just one example of it. Kind of, it's just that shows the shame within this society that we're living. I was following the news a little bit with the COVID, only a little bit. I've not been watching it all of the time or reading lots of articles about it, but certain things have caught my eye. And one of them was that at some point it was mentioned in the Houses of Parliament that carers, for example, or people working who are that's the right phrase, isn't it? Key workers would get pay rises because of they've put forward a motion. Should they get pay rises? And it was
nurses. No, yeah, health workers got.
Well, health workers,
nurses,
or whatever.
Doctors.
And yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we
police got a pay rise.
So after
teachers,
that,
teachers got a pay
police got pay rises. Nurses, teachers, but the carers who actually care for all of the old people, the sick and the infirm, they get nothing. So you think to yourself, there's something seriously wrong in this country. The people in this country have got mental health problems if they are not willing to acknowledge that even the people who look after a fellow human being are valued in this society.
Yes, I agree with you.
I can't for the life of me, but that's obviously it's a political issue, but it's something there that highlights very clearly there's something wrong with this society.
Yeah, and the way we look at society is that we consider that society should be placing the value on people and not money.
Yeah, that's the thing. But the trouble is that you've then got to look at the human condition.
Absolutely.
Now that's the big problem, because when you start looking at the human condition, it doesn't reflect humans. The human caring nature, does it?
No,
especially because a lot of the time now in most societies across the earth, people are paid to care.
Yeah, basically.
In other words, is it a fact that people do care, or is it the case that they care about the money?
Yeah.
So I care about the money. That's why I'm caring for you, because I care about the money.
Right.
And you think, oh, that shouldn't be right. I'm caring for you, and then I should be getting the money as a form of reward because I'm doing that job. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's quite an interesting.
It's quite an interesting thing to open up.
Where you put the onus on, doesn't it?
Well, yeah, but I mean, this is the society I'm living in. I mean, I'm not patriotic because I don't feel I should need to be. I feel I'm me. I'm quite content doing what I do.
You're sovereign unto yourself.
Absolutely. But at the end of the day, the country I live in and the people in it can be so much better.
Yeah.
To treat one another a lot better.
So it's all about.
I think that's the one thing that with the people that are awake right now in the middle of this thing, and we turn around and we look at our families, and it's not happening because they believe in it and you don't. But it's happening. But I agree with you. Humans are not held high enough.
Well, I mean, humans, but the thing is with human beings is that they all learn about life.
Absolutely, yeah, sure.
They all learn about life, and when you look at education, you're never taught about life itself.
Yeah, what it's like to be human. What is it? When you were say 8, 9, or 10, or even going into secondary school, you weren't taught about what it's like to be human. What can you expect to kind of like experience in your 40s? What would life be like in your 40s or in your 60s?
What can you expect to see with your body? How your body would change?
How would your body change as
over
those years? Absolutely. What's death like?
Yeah, no, yeah.
You know, very few people talk about death. I mean, it's something that we all experience, whether we like it or not, but nobody talks about it.
Yeah, good. And then you get your typical.
So you don't have an education about it.
Yeah.
So a lot of people go through their life.
That's fantasy, though, isn't it, that they've made? Because nobody talks about those things or our feelings, and they're just running around in the
absolutely. Yeah, that's the dream world.
Yeah. You get, I mean, I've heard someone say, you know, when you talk to people, you say, you know, they should educate people about death. And someone might say, someone who's in the dream world would say, oh, no, we don't want to talk about that.
Can't be talking about that.
I don't want to talk about that.
But that's because
I much rather watch me EastEnders.
But a lot of people don't want to be talking about reality.
Yeah, basically, because a lot of people aren't real.
They're unreal. A lot of people are
pretentious.
They're not themselves. They are wannabe people, if you know what I mean. They're just like, they want to be happy.
Oh, right, yeah.
They want to be happy, or they want to be rich, or they want to be whatever, but they're never the true selves. Yeah, and you know, it's quite good to, as soon as you get a kind of down to earth. I suppose we'd call it a down to earth kind of perception on it all.
Yeah, basically.
Once you get a down-to-earth perception on everything, it's quite interesting having your little conversations with other people.
Because then you begin to realise how fucked up they are.
Well, you begin to realise how much they exist in a dream world.
Oh, well, yeah.
Really, you know.
Yeah.
So
it's all.
I mean, there's only so far you can go in life. I mean, the human life, you know, from birth to death, you can only do so much in your life. And I mean, having dreams or whatever of going here and doing that and doing this or whatever, you know, is okay. But the thing is, all the time you've got those kind of dreams, you're living your life.
Yeah,
all these globies who think that, like, SpaceX is going to put something on Mars, you know, man on Mars and all this kind of rubbish. They're thinking it in their heads, and they've got the rover on the.
That does. I did a video about it. Basically, when they make you believe in a reality that's not real, it takes your freedom away.
Yeah, but a lot of people don't like their freedom.
Well,
you know, the thing is, you've got to ask yourself, why do people prefer the dream than reality?
Well, yeah, I think that's an important question.
You know, there's people. I mean, we essentially live in, like, have you ever watched Trumpton? You must have watched Trumpton.
Who's that?
Trumpton.
Oh, right, yeah.
It was a children's TV program.
Yeah.
Narrated by Brian Cant. It was all based around a small little town called Trumpton. You had your fire brigade. You had Mr. Jones, who worked at the butchers or whatever.
The doctor.
You had the doctor. You had the mayor. You know, and they all had the fire brigade all used to play musical instruments at the bandstand at the end of every episode. But it's this dream world. It's a dream society, and that's what we live in. We live in somebody else's dream society.
Well, it's just like we were given a link to a Star Trek episode, and we just played the first few minutes of it, and we're like looking at the actors and the words they're using.
Absolutely, yeah. And their behaviour.
And we think, you know,
it's not real.
It's not real.
It's not real. Why should we then sit down and watch this thing for an hour when it's not real?
But then you could argue, see, this is another thing. You could actually argue, if you're actually watching the Star Trek, is it there to, you know, when you look at the way people are together, is it there to encourage you to be like that?
Oh, it could be, yeah. They could be there to set an example, possibly.
They used, programs to make us believe in space.
Yeah, but it's giving people a dream.
It gives people a dream. Yeah, sure, it gives people a dream. Some people, believe it or not, they want the dream. You know, they'll, you know, like you say, whatever you say to them, they'll never be convinced otherwise. They'll never change. It's because they want the dream.
And I think that's one thing that I will say about Russian Vince. And that is when he said people prefer the dream
than the reality.
Yeah. And that is so true.
Yeah, it's so true. Absolutely. But but then we come full circle. We're back on people again.
Yeah.
Why do people want to dream?
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I don't want to be dreaming in my life. I'd much rather just live in reality. I know what my life's been
that
about.
does, though. When we were growing up, say, it makes you decide what kind of man you want, what you're looking for. It changes. Like when you're living in fantasy, it's different if you're living in reality.
Yeah, I know what you're saying, but it's very difficult because there's so much of the dream world out there that people are exposed to on a day-to-day level. It's very difficult to actually tear yourself away from it and actually live in reality. It's very difficult to actually know what is real and what is just utter rubbish. You know, it's been set up in a good way. You know, it's not foolproof, obviously, because there's a lot of people who've been like awakened to, and they know the truth. A lot of people know the truth.
Yeah, and also you've got to recognise that when you interact with people, you can see people in different ways. So you don't know how to take them.
Sure.
You know.
Well,
because of the way
they've
been
that's coming through to my
programmed.
channel is that people are not happy with what's happening. They feel that they don't want to be here anymore.
Well, where are they going to go?
Well, they just in a way, they've had enough.
Yeah, but that's the same as a lot of people.
Well, yeah, but are you talking?
That's the same as a lot of people who think the moon landings are real and space is real. They've had enough. They're fed up.
Yeah, because this is my view of the lockdown and all ever since last year, and that is, you know, it's placed people into a different stage of life,
or state of existence,
or state of reflection.
Yeah, I suppose
you're right. A state of realization.
Yeah, what they've managed to do is they've made people feel like we're going through a war, even though there isn't one.
Well, yeah, but what it's actually done for a lot of people is made them come. When you think about it, it's actually taken them out of the dream.
Yeah, let's give you an example of what I mean. Ever since lockdown, do you remember the first time of lockdown, and or just before, lots of people rushing out buying toilet rolls and panic buying. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. Now, when I was experiencing all this, and you know, I saw a few stores empty, I was thinking, wow, this is
serious.
This is serious stuff. Dum dum dum. You know, I wasn't worried, you know, about things, but I was thinking, okay, you know, I'll just whatever. But as the time progressed on, it all kind of settled down, and everyone began to realise that there was nothing to worry about. Okay. So since the first lockdown, you've had a great reduction of people on the street, great reduction of cars on the road.
Without one police officer or soldier. Without the police or soldier doing it.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, you've had all of the people off the street. You've had a lot of shops closed down. You've had social events closed. You've had all of this stuff. To me, like, this is my own opinion. I know some people might not like it, but I think it's been wonderful.
Well, because it slowed the pace of life down a little bit.
Absolutely, yeah. I think it's been so wonderful. It's been less chaotic. It's been a pleasure to go out. It's been lovely. I can walk across the road without fear of getting run over. You know, it's been really, really nice. Now, because a lot of people have been indoors because of the COVID, I mean, at the end of the day, they've been now given the time, or they've had the whole year out of their lives, really, in order to think about their life, to think about things that are important to them.
Because if they're not awake, will they make the right decisions anyway?
Well, you know, but I suppose the change, just experiencing the change is enough. I mean, I don't know whether people do decide to make the change or not. I couldn't say. But the fact is, at least they've been given the opportunity because they've had
Time to think.
Time to think. They've had time to reflect about their lives because there's an awful lot of people out there. Okay, who they're single, they're on their own, they may want to have children, they may want a family, somebody might want to purchase a house, somebody might want to get that good job. A lot of people out there have got desires. And that whole year that we've had from the COVID from last year in March, since the first lockdown, they've been given time to reflect on what they want and to think about their desires and to think about them as individuals. You know, and that would also, what would also help that is the fact that they've been put in a position where they're having to remain and live with their parents, for example, and live with their partner, locked in.
Yeah, well, one example.
Kind of thing.
One example is like you could have this, say this guy who's been let's say an IT consultant, for example. Lockdown comes along, gets furloughed, and he starts being at home doing nothing, or shall I say enjoying it, and he's beginning to realize him.
Absolutely. And then what he does is that he starts a hobby,
or he thinks, am I actually doing the right job?
Yeah, sure. Yeah,
am I in the right job? Am I happy doing that job?
This is what people have been given the time since the COVID, since the lockdowns, to actually think whether they're happy in their life. They've got the time to reevaluate their life situation, and really they've been given the opportunity to make change.
Yeah, well, because I know there was a story about this guy who worked in did stage lighting or something. Did the something with this. He was
lighting
engineer for a theatre company or whatever. Out of work because they shut all the theatres down, and then he changed job, got a job doing I think it was delivering food for a supermarket, and he's probably doing that job because he needed the money. And you might find that after the
COVID's lifted, the lockdown's lifted,
he might continue in that job.
Absolutely,
because he enjoys it more than he did when he was doing his lighting.
It's all. I mean, the thing with the dream world.
You see this as a wake up for the people.
Well, I think one thing you have to remember, and that is, even though a lot of people think about that we're all controlled and this, that, and the other, we are all individuals, and we do all have individual needs.
Yeah, sure, yeah.
So the over the past year, I mean, I suppose you and me are looking at it in a positive way.
Yeah, we don't. Yeah, we don't. To be fair, I've not really. No. I don't see the COVID. I don't look at it in a negative way at all.
No.
Unless, of course, I'm blackmailed into having the vaccine.
Yeah, hold on. Let's rephrase that. Not so much that we see it in a positive way, but we want to see the positive effects of it.
Yeah, sure. Because a lot of, I think it's something good always comes out of something bad. So, I mean, if a lot of people think that, they're lying to us about the COVID vaccine and all this kind of stuff, or the COVID virus and all this kind of stuff, there is some good things that do come out of it.
Yeah, no, yeah.
I think a lot of people just need to focus on those rather focusing on the negatives, because it's not good for us to be focusing on negatives at all. Doesn't do us much good.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, I was talking to someone today.
Still working then?
Sorry.
Do you two work?
I've never. Oh, that's something. I don't really discuss my.
We don't discuss
I don't discuss personal kind of stuff over.
Okay, cool.
We do have interests. We do have.
All we'd say is we do have interests outside of like our channel, obviously. Yeah. But that's as far as I'd go.
Another perspective, because loads of people are quite fed up with, just say, I don't want to be here anymore. I don't like it here, and it is quite evil, I think.
Yeah,
at the
sure,
moment.
but where are they going to go?
Well, I don't think they're happy to go now. That's what they were saying.
They're happy to what? Sorry, Karen.
Leave.
Happy to leave. Go.
Yeah,
Go where? Yeah, but
well, die basically.
Oh, die. Oh, right. Okay. Yeah, but I don't think that's sure. Yeah, but there's oh right. Okay. So yeah, sure. I mean, I can understand that. But I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, having the lockdown and stuff does well. Yeah, sure. Yeah, well, we can understand why they have the dream. Well, yeah, basically, because this is their well. See, Karen's highlighted one of the reasons why they have the dream. Yeah, you've highlighted, you've hit the nail on the head there, Karen. One of the reasons why the dream's there. Yeah, but because a lot of people don't want to be faced with the decision of ending it all. They don't want to be doing that. Yeah, because
I think as well they were trying to stress that they feel that the vibe with what people believe is low, and when you're awake, you've got a higher vibe, and so it doesn't we don't resonate with these people.
Yeah, but I think the thing is to. I think the thing is to. Yeah, I know where you come. I understand what you're saying about the resonation, but I think it's what that's telling me is that people should be looking in life for. To be in a position where they do resonate with something. In other words, they've just realised that they're on a quest. Oh, right, yeah. To find some form of resonation in life. I'm sure even though I don't like the society I live in, I don't like my council. I dislike that people pay council tax. I dislike that the council spend that money on rubbish like education, what they want, and I don't get a say in anything.
I'd never really thought about it, but everybody thinks the government's looking after the country. It's not. It's the people, because we pay our council.
Well, yeah, sure, but yeah, I can understand that. But there's legislation that protects, that means that councils can follow people, chase people up for, and collect that money. They've been given that lawful right to do so. But my point is that it doesn't matter that I've got gripes about this society. I've still got to find some place in it where I can resonate with it, where you belong, where I get a sense of belonging. It's basically when you're talking about resonating, it's a sense of belonging. It's finding a sense of belonging. Yeah. And I have to admit, if you're in a room with a lot of people and you don't feel as if you belong there, it's not very comfortable. Well, you're in the wrong place. You're in the wrong place, obviously, but then it's down to you to go and find where you belong. It's down to the individual. Yeah. But you're not taught this when you go to school. Yeah, because also finding education.
I feel children should be taught how to respect other people and stuff. It should happen.
Yeah, sure. But people also should be taught that children should be taught that they will grow up to be individuals and that they will need to find a sense of belonging somewhere in life. Otherwise, they will feel lonely. Well, not only that, and isolated. Well, not only that, but they'll also feel unhappy, and they'll feel unhappy as well. Because when you've got a sense of belonging, you have that sense of connection with, say, other people. You feel part of something, and you feel happier. Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I would imagine that they've not done the government. They've not done a morale survey since this COVID's been in, and actually check to see whether people's morale's gone down or whether it's gone up or whether it's stayed the same. I'm sure they're probably aware that morale has gone down.
Yeah, because in a sense, it doesn't worry us the same, those that are awake, because most of us spent more time at work, at home, and we're on the computer, and we didn't go out. I don't go out I used to, but I don't go out so much into society anymore because it's full of them. but we were already a bit more in our homes and doing other things anyway.
People who are awake are more content with themselves. They're more content with their way of life, or with their understanding of society. Yeah, sure. But whether they're content being on their own, I mean, I can't. Oh, right, yeah. Because you can still have someone who's lonely. Yeah.
Do you see more people waking up then?
No, I think people have remained the same. Well, I don't know, actually. I think a lot of young people are. I think a lot of young people are. Hold on. A lot of young people use IT. They use mobile phones. They use a lot of technology, and it's quite easy. You often see young people with their head down on a mobile phone. But one thing that's interesting about that, and that is that they'll reach an earlier age, where they'll realise it's all rubbish. Yeah, I'm sure. And I think a lot of young people will begin to realise that. Trying to think, what was that question you asked? It's a load of rubbish at an earlier age. No, they'll want to find something new. They'll want to place value in something else other than the technology, other than the society they're living in.
You mean it's a bit like, it's not quite like this, because you just said everybody's got their head down in their phones, but because we've had to stay at home, we've got to try and learn or do other things, because that's what's happening to people. Me, I have the channel, I can make videos, I can use my time up, I've got friends to talk to, I've got other things, Yeah,
so it's really helps you, but you think about there's lots of people who haven't got those kind of pastimes. They haven't got those abilities. I mean, I went somewhere and I told someone a few weeks ago that I had a YouTube channel, and she was like, wow, because she'd never met anyone who had a YouTube channel. And in some ways it is quite I was going to say liberating, but it's quite special to be able to have the ability to have a YouTube channel, because it gives you skills, it gives you knowledge, it gives you a lot of confidence within yourself.
Yeah.
Because when you actually look at YouTube and the way it promotes its platform, it knows that if you have someone who's got, let's say, mental health problems, who's got low esteem, who's got lacks confidence, starting up a YouTube channel is a good way to overcome those problems. Absolutely, and YouTube does. I mean, over the years we've not really had any problems with YouTube, but YouTube does say that we got onto one of their pages today, and it does say that YouTube, the YouTube platform provides a voice for everybody. Well, it doesn't matter who you are, but it provides a voice. There's also, I know a lot of people may disagree with this, but you've got the freedom of expression, the freedom of information.
Well, we had a lot more freedom before the virus came along, but we're not so free anymore. But
you see, the thing is, the more people use the internet and social media and stuff, a lot more people are accessing information they were previously had no access to at all. For example, with Flat Earth, for example, when all the time that I was at school, right up to my 40s, the only time I'd heard of Flat Earth was through passing bit on the TV kind of thing. A passing goes in one ear and out goes in one ear, came out the other. But now, if I was exposed to the phrase flat Earth or the idea of the flat Earth, I've got information there straight away at my fingertips that I can access to find out more. Whereas before, maybe 20, 30, 40, 20, 30 years ago, I couldn't have done that. Yeah, I know. Couldn't have done it. Yeah. So the information's out there. The information's more accessible.
Okay, so you know, it's inevitable that people will change accordingly. You know, because the information's there.
Yeah. And another example, health. I'm sure that the numbers of people who visit doctors is decreasing.
Yeah.
Yeah, right now, because all the hypochondriacs aren't going to the doctor, are
Well,
they?
not just that. Ever since you've got the internet,
yeah, but the hypochondriacs are their patients.
Yeah, they give them their jobs.
But the point I'm trying to make is that you've got a lot of people who are researching. If you've got a problem, if you've got an ache in your, I don't know, in your abdomen, for example, you go online.
Yeah, if anyone gets
you
something,
go to a doctor. You wouldn't go to a doctor.
Yeah, I'm sure if anybody gets anything wrong with them health-wise, they will go online first. The first port of call will be the internet. They'll go online, they'll research the information, they'll research their symptoms to find out what they've got. Because there's even doctors putting up videos on YouTube.
Yeah.
Okay. A lot of health professionals are putting videos up on YouTube. So people have got the ability to weigh up information and know whether it's right or wrong before going to a doctor, before having tests carried out at a hospital.
Well, not so much that, but they know whether or not they need to go to a doctor.
Absolutely, yeah, sure. This is the thing. The internet is basically empowering people because it's giving people information and knowledge.
Yeah.
It's giving people knowledge.
And that knowledge.
But that knowledge should have been given to them when they were at school and being educated.
Yeah.
And that's, you know, it's like the tables are turning. You know, you're deprived of knowledge when you go to school because you're fed rubbish.
Yeah.
And you go online and you find the real information, the true knowledge that people need in order to live healthy, happy lives.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But see, Karen is kind of like thinking that, you know, you and I are very kind of supportive of YouTube.
Well, I think YouTube's all right.
Yeah, but I mean, we've got a channel.
It's okay.
I mean, to be honest with you, we've got a channel that really, a lot of people would want it taken down.
Yeah, I'm sure they would.
I mean,
yeah, sure.
You think about the claims that we make on our channel. That there's no oxygen in the air. You think how someone who's receiving oxygen therapy would respond when we told them that claim.
We think there's no oxygen in the air.
That opinion.
You know, especially when they're told that the machine, their oxygen concentrator, separates the oxygen from the nitrogen.
Yeah, and that there's oxygen in the air.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, to me, that it's quite a wow, you know. Well, you know, a claim that some people would say is very controversial,
or is wrong.
Or is wrong. Some people might think it's total misinformation. But the thing is that we've still got our channel. We've still got our videos up on the oxygen.
Yeah.
Views on oxygen stuff, because nobody's proved us wrong.
Because we know that we live in a belief system.
Absolutely, people only believe oxygen to be part of the air. Sorry, you know.
Yeah, you changed my view on that, boys.
Yeah, but there's no oxygen in the air at all.
Yeah,
only if you put it there,
or only if you think it.
Or only if you think it's there. You know, well, of course they've been to the moon.
If you believe
if you think they've been to the moon.
Yeah.
It is there if you believe it. If you believe that oxygen's got air's got oxygen in it, then it has.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, it's down to you as an individual to think what you want to think. You know, whether it's good or bad for you is another issue. But it's, you know, if you want to, if the trouble with life is that it presents so much information to people, right, whether it's right or wrong, it's down to the individual to basically accept it or reject it.
Yeah, and what this society does, or what this society promotes, I could be wrong here, is that basically you can believe in anything.
Yeah, you can believe in anything.
And this society will support that.
Yeah, if you want to believe in aliens, this society will support it because it's a belief system we're living in.
Yeah.
The whole society is based on a belief.
If this might be a bit controversial,
The belief that God has given the Queen
the right
to rule, for example, that's only a belief.
Or it could be controversial now. If you want to believe that you're a woman,
absolutely,
this society will enable you to do that.
Because we live in a society where it basically.
But that's where the human bit's been taken out, though, isn't it? Which is what you were talking about earlier on.
Yeah, sure. But what the point we're trying to make is that we're living in a society that makes your beliefs
reality.
Yeah.
So we're living in Disneyland then, basically.
Yeah, basically. Yeah, we're basically living. So, but it's good. It's good to think. It's good to start thinking on those lines because then you can actually start seeing reality.
Yeah. That's quite an interesting conversation, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I bet hopefully you'll get people's minds thinking. You will.
Well, I mean, we have we received quite a pleasant comment a few weeks ago from someone who, I can't remember his username or her username, but he actually said, or it was written in a comment, that our channel has really changed the way he's perceived the world.
Oh, sure. Yeah, I know. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, his whole family.
Yeah,
as well. I mean, it's nice, but like we say in all of our videos, we're not putting forward whether we're right or wrong on anything. All we're doing is putting forward our views and opinions.
Yeah,
that's all we're doing.
Which makes people think.
They're only there to make people think if they want to. If they don't want to, then they go and watch something else.
Take it or leave it.
We're not trying to ram anything down anyone's throats. But it's my honest opinion that I don't think that oxygen is a constituent of air. It's my honest opinion that I don't feel that, or I don't consider water to be made of hydrogen and oxygen.
Or that plants photosynthesize.
Absolutely, of course.
In the natural environment.
Yeah, but what is my opinion is that I think man can never come to know the true nature of reality.
And he's fabricated.
Yeah, we live in a realm, don't we? We live in a realm here. A magical realm, really.
Yeah.
Well, I wouldn't call it magical because there's no magic in it. Lot of glitz and glamour.
Oh, right, yeah.
Lots of glitz and glamour, but it's kind of like
that's,
blah blah.
That's the nearest that man can get to magic is glitz and glamour.
Yeah, sure. And the television doing, putting stunts together and stuff. But I was going to say that we've got we're in a good position at the moment because we've got hopefully got a few good things coming up, lined up with some demonstrations. I'm going to get a thermal imaging camera.
Oh, right.
Because we watched a video on climate change, and we want to know whether that test was a contrived, whether it was contrived.
Yeah. See, what the thing is that when you watch a demonstration, you have to do it yourself to understand how the effect was achieved.
Yeah,
and whether you can confirm that the effect is correct.
It's like a good example is this. I don't know whether you've seen them. You may have done. I'm sure you probably have. But when people drop two dissimilar weighted objects from the same height, and they say, "There you go, gravity." They're falling at the same rate. Have you seen those?
Yeah, in the past.
Yeah. Now that is a contrived demonstration, okay? Especially if it's carried out in a vacuum chamber like Action Lab. They're contrived.
It's contrived in any environment.
Yeah, in any environment, it's contrived simply because although they have the same rate of acceleration, the rate of fall is different. In other words, given enough height is allowed for each object, the heavy and the light object, to reach their maximum drop velocity. The heavier object will always hit the ground first, always. But because they do it over a shorter height, okay, you see both objects hit the ground at the same time. Okay, so it's a contrived demonstration. Okay, so they're giving you like a little snippet to support their dream, aren't they? Yeah. And that's exactly what man does. And once you can understand that, when you look at all of these demonstrations, like of climate change or CO2 being in the water, in the aquarium, and all of this kind of stuff, you begin to realise that it's all rubbish.
Yeah, basically, because it's all about creating products that can then give people jobs.
Absolutely, yeah. Science. When you think about science has created an awful lot of jobs. It's created an awful lot of jobs. Look how many people are stuck down a computer now.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
For example, and the computer, the keyboard, the monitor, the hard drive, all of that and more has been built upon science.
That's why there's such a demand for technology.
Absolutely, yeah. A lot of people, technology now is, taking over everyone's lives, more or less.
But you get into a point where you're going to have lots of people who work in IT, for example, who want to become road sweepers because they just want to
street operatives,
because they've just had enough of
the technology.
Yeah, and that's why going back to the point I made earlier about young people will reach an age, like when they're between their 30 and 40, where they'll just want to throw it all away, throw all the technology away.
Yeah, they want change.
Yeah, they want something different.
Absolutely, of course.
So there we go. But it's we have got. We're also with the thermal imaging camera. Another reason why we've bought it is because we want to know how it actually works.
Yeah, we want to know how it works
because we don't think that the way mainstream explains or the understanding how it works, we don't think that's correct.
Well, we don't think infrared radiation is. There's something wrong with infrared radiation simply because you've got one part, you've got thermal imaging, which is supposed to be infrared radiation, but you've also got infrared
remote
controls, and you think, well, how can that be this infrared? So there's a disparity between the two, isn't there?
So you have to get a thermal imaging camera to understand how it works.
Yeah, because it may not be infrared at all.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, it may not be, because it's just a load of rubbish. The whole electromagnetic spectrum, where you find your infrared and your radio waves and your microwaves and your gamma rays and your X-rays and everything else, is just a load of rubbish. It's a man-made, fabricated construct that doesn't exist in nature.
Well, which only reflects man's
ability. Technology, yeah, it reflects man's technology.
A lot of those, Ray, not very good for you, are they? Like microwaves, not good for you. Obviously, infrared's infrared is okay, but lots of them aren't very good for you, are they?
Yeah, but a lot of them, they're all man-made though. They're all man-fabricated waves.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. I mean, if somebody said to me the sun emits ultraviolet radiation, I'd think, well, how are you going to prove that to me?
You can't.
Absolutely, you
can't get past you, boys, can they?
They can't get past
you.
Well, absolutely. That's why we've had nobody come on our Zoom meeting. Nobody's willing to discuss anything with us. But it makes you realise that the rest of, I understand people. I respect people have a right, I suppose. See, what they should have done in the United Nations, in the human rights, is that they should have put in a clause for people to have the right to dream.
Oh, well, yeah.
To live their dream, which means they have a right to believe.
Yeah.
They have a right to believe.
Because that when you think about it, that's all That's all you actually see in life. When you actually, it's amazing when you, whoever listens to this, and yourself, when you go out into the world, and you interact with people. I mean, how often do you hear the word believe? You hear it quite often.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you hear it. Yeah,
it's because people want to believe in things because they want to believe that there's more than life.
Yeah.
There's something
life.
after. Yeah, there's an afterlife. There's more to life than meets the eye.
Right.
It's all magical. There's things that we can know that we don't know, and it's interesting to find out.
Well, that's interesting. Wonder why. It's like when you have these ghost hunters, for example.
Yeah.
And they have set up all this equipment.
Yeah.
I know I'm going off on a tangent here, but you think, wonder if a thermal imaging camera
right, sure, yeah,
would actually pick up
a ghost.
Sure. But then you've got to believe in ghosts.
Absolutely. Oh, look, there's a little dot. There's a little area there. Oh, that's a ghost. So as soon as you start as soon as you start believing in something, anything, let's say ghosts, you'll start seeing them because you'll want to start seeing them.
Yeah, no, it's like we're not. Are you religious, Karen?
No.
Yeah, you're like us. We don't follow any kind of religion at all.
Now,
we're not God people.
Now, one thing that annoys us about.
I do believe in God. I just don't believe in religion.
Oh right. Okay. Okay. Well, I hope I don't offend you.
Yeah, we're not God people.
That's okay. That's cool.
We're not God people. But what annoys me about, let's say, religious people, and that is they'll always focus on God, but they'll never talk about the devil.
Yeah.
You go to a congregation.
Sure. Yeah, God gave us of course, yeah. Yeah. God loves you and all of this kind of stuff.
No,
What about the devil? The devil doesn't like you.
I know. And where is the devil within society?
Yeah. Religion doesn't really.
And we've kind of like. You've mentioned it on the channel sometimes, and that is you've used the word the beast.
The beast.
A lot of people think the beast is related to Satan. According to the Bible.
Well, if you watch The Omen,
and all that lot. But in our understanding, the beast only relates to the animal.
The beast relates to the animal that is man, that is human beings. We've always got. I think it strikes me.
The beast system is the man system.
Well, it's just the animal system.
Well, you could.
I mean, it's like George. There's a lot. I know there's a lot of people who talk about George Bush when he said
George Bush Senior.
George Bush Senior saying the rule of
New World. Yeah, George Bush Senior. We're aiming for a new world order
where the rule of law
reigns over the rule of the jungle.
Now, all he's talking about is the animal, which is the rule of jungle.
The rule of the jungle. Yeah. That's when people are acting like animals,
and you can have people who are civilized,
where they respect the law and they abide by the law.
Where they respect the law that man has created.
The law. Yeah, absolutely, of course.
So that's our interpretation of his speech.
Absolutely, yeah. But other people might take it the other way and think that, they're trying to get a new world order where, they want to enslave us and they want to do this.
Yeah.
Sure, but we're all slaves, unfortunately.
Yeah, I know. Even the Queen is.
Even the Queen's a slave. She's a slave to her job. She, if something happens that's a national crisis, she's got to show her face. She's got to do something.
Yeah.
Prince Charles, for example, say there's a rail crash in the country. Charles, you've got to go there. Somebody's got to look. Who's going to visit this rail crash?
Oh, do I have to? I have to, Mother?
You've got to go, Charles. Oh, I'm sending you as my special envoy, my representative.
I really can't be asked to travel all that way.
I know you want to be doing your watering colouring, but you can't. You've got to stop. Leave that. Put it one side. You've got to go and see this rail crash. You've got to go down there.
Yeah.
It does annoy me that even the royal family is just no different to anyone else. And they don't want to be doing. They get tired of their job, meeting people, meeting nobodies, meeting random people who don't really figure in their life whatsoever. But they've got to meet them. It's part of their job,
and they've always got to smile.
And they've always got to smile. They've always got to be nice.
Absolutely.
And it can be tiring at times. So I think we're all trapped. All of us are trapped. There's not one free single person on the earth, as far as I'm concerned.
Oh well, yes.
There's not one free single person on the earth.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Because being human is all about being
living constrained within nature.
Because you're a sentient being.
You're a sentient being.
You rely on other people.
Absolutely. Anyway, there you go, Karen.
Yeah, well, boys. We've been going for nearly an hour and a half now. I know you said just over an hour, so we've been an hour and a half.
No, that's fine. I think we've.
I appreciate you talking and getting people to think about things.
Well, that's what it's all about,
Well, I mean, I would agree that you and I do have a different perspective on life than many other people.
Sure, absolutely, of course. Anyway,
and I suppose it's nice for some people to hear it.
Oh yeah, sure. It's nice to have access to that information if they want it.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I thought you would be talking. I mean, you have talked a little bit about the air doesn't have oxygen in it. You've done that, but I thought we'd be talking about more of that. We've been talking about different stuff today.
Yeah, that's because you see the thing is that I mean, I suppose we're not the type of people to be fixated on a certain topic. We think our channel's developed over the years, which it has done, and so too have been our thoughts and views and opinions. I mean, they've changed, or they've developed. I
think,
or they've been brought out of us.
Yeah, and
would be better.
I think another thing is that the demonstrations, we haven't done as many demonstrations.
It's because I've been busy with other things this year, and this year and even last year. So that's taken me away from doing a lot of demonstrations, and we are limited with what we can do anyway. So times change. People get older. We move on to other things. Blah 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 blah.
Well, it's all
about
development.
It's all about development. The way they were, with the pace of life and everything, or do you think it will stay a bit calmer now?
I think it'll just get back to normal. In time, I think
in time it will. Yeah.
In time, it will get back to the way it was. But
then saying that,
there might be some reservedness about it.
I suppose it depends on what the
reservation,
how can I call it? How they want it to be. It's like they may want more people working from home, so there's less traffic on the roads.
Yeah, it's true. There's a lot of people who've, since the COVID lockdown, a lot of people have been working from home, and they can well do. What's the point of them driving to an office when they can work at home? The technology's there with the internet, so why don't they work from home? A lot of people are adjusting to that. I think it's a good thing that people do that. I wouldn't want to do that, mind you, but for
some people, it's suitable.
Absolutely, yeah. Or the option will be there for you.
When you ring up somebody who's working at home, and they'll say there could be pets or things in the background, and like you're in their home life.
I watched. I can't remember where I watched it, but there was this guy on the BBC.
Oh, it was doing a compilation of video
outtakes or something, and there was an interview with someone on. I think it was on BBC News, and he was at home, obviously because of the COVID restrictions. I think it's been so good to see all of these celebrity people being recorded in their own homes, because of this COVID.
Yeah, because you get to see
you get to see what the home's like. You get to see what they really like. Reality.
Yeah,
a bit of the reality. But one particular guy was talking to someone who was being filmed in their home, giving an interview to the news presenter, and then all of a sudden his kids come in, his young baby came in a toddler frame.
Oh, right, yeah. And then the nanny came in,
and then the nanny came in to drag the kids out. And I'm sure that guy, okay, the guy, it was quite funny because the guy, I'm sure probably after he'd finished the interview with the BBC, he probably flipped his lid.
Yeah, the right go.
Had a right go at the nanny. What the,
Yeah, I know. And yet he shouldn't be like that.
And yet he shouldn't be like that. He should have just turned around. Oh, hi, these are my kids.
Yeah,
to the BBC news person.
We're not used to that kind of life, are we?
Well, you see, the thing is, you can start picking holes in people.
Yeah.
When you start looking at their behaviour and when you start looking at the things they do and the things they say, and whether you want to or not, it's quite good to be able to look at an interaction between two people and look at the non-verbal communication, look at the reasons why that person said that particular thing and why that person responded in such a way, because like we've said earlier, when you start to realise that everything's all a load of rubbish, more or less,
all you've got left is people. So let's look at people.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's
stop looking at the night sky through the telescopes. Let's stop looking through the microscopes, looking at all this rubbish. Let's look at ourselves and look at how we can make things better for each and every one of us.
And that's what we're about, really.
Absolutely, of course.
Your world's a bit different to everyone else's, isn't it? Well, not everyone else. A lot of people are going to resonate with what you say. I'm saying generally, people aren't going to think like that, are they?
Well, yeah, sure, but then that's up to them, isn't it?
Yeah, but if they don't want their experience of life to be better, then that's down to them.
Absolutely, of course, But there we go, Karen.
Oh,
yeah, there we go.
So much, boys. So we finished now,
okay, yeah. I hope you enjoyed it.
We
certainly talked.
Do you want to finish now, then?
If we could, so I can cook some dinner.
Yeah. Oh, well, thank you. Well, we'll say goodbye when I've pressed the button, but for the actual hangout, thank you so much, boys.
No, it's just a pleasure.
Pleasure, Karen. Yeah, hope you publish the video and people listen to it and walk away from it with food for thought, things to think about.
Well, Well,
that's all it's about,
Don't disappear. Just let me end the hangout here, and I'll say goodbye to you afterwards.
Sure.
But for this hangout, Peter, Pete, and chat room.
Oh, thanks very much.
Yeah, thank you, Karen. Yeah, we'll give a kiss to everyone who's listening. Yeah.
Thank you. All right, then, we're going to turn the button off now.